Hello everyone, today I'm going to be painting Krampus from Reaper Miniatures. You should always wash your miniatures before you start painting. It takes away all the residue and the mould agents and any dirt etc. that might be on your miniature, and this helps the paint to stick, because if that's still there, the paint tends to pool and slide off. Once you've washed your miniatures, make sure that you dry them thoroughly. The first thing that I'm going to do is paint the hooves with Reaper Solid Black using an Army Painter detailed brush. Then I'm going to mix 3 drops of Shield Brown and 3 drops of black to make a colour for the fur. Paint this all over the fur parts of the miniature in a nice even coat, remembering all the areas including the tip of his tail. You might be able to see from the video that I'm using the fingers that aren't holding onto the base of the miniature to support the hand with my paintbrush in it. Use your little finger to support that hand to make it more sturdy while you're painting. Remember to move your miniature around and make sure that you haven't missed any areas with your base coat of fur. Next, we're going to do a wash over the fur. Now, Reaper recommends using the black and adding water to it to make your own wash, but I've got some Citadel Null Oil from Games Workshop, which I'm going to use instead. Either is fine, it's just that I've already got this. I'm also going to use the sleeve of my paintbrush to hold the pot of Citadel paint open, because they sometimes close on you and they also are very easy to spill. Apply your wash, whichever one you're using, all over the fur. This will go into the recesses and bring out the detail that's in the miniature. Next, I'm going to use Ultramarine blue and a detailed brush to paint the coal in his barrel while the rest of the miniature dries. Auburn Shadow and a detail brush is next up for me. Now remember, with all these paints you only need a little bit. Any more on your palette will just dry up, and if you've not got enough you can just add some more. Wipe off any excess from your brush onto a kitchen towel. Use kitchen towel, not toilet roll, because it's thicker so it works better, so that you haven't got a lot of paint on your brush while you're painting. I'm using this paint to paint the straps. Next, I'm going to use Null Oil again to wash over the coal and the straps. Then I'm going to mix 1 drop of Palomino Gold and 1 drop of Shield Brown. I use an old paintbrush to mix these up, as the paint will cover the bristles down to the ferrule, and if this dries close to the ferrule it will ruin your paintbrush and make it split. So we don't want to use a good paintbrush for that. Then we paint this mix onto the broom and the barrels. Now add a wash to those areas. Reaper suggests making your own wash with 1 drop of Auburn Shadow, 1 drop of black and 7 drops of water, but I'm going to use Agrak's Earthshade as I have it. Now this is a more dirt or brown wash colour than the Null Oil, which is a black wash, so this brown will be perfect for the barrel and broom. Add this to the barrel and broom, and you can see already that it's bringing out those details, those grooves in the barrel. Next, we're going to use a black and insane detail brush, and I'm just going to paint the inside of his mouth. Dry brush the fur once the base coat is dry. Mix 1 drop of black and 1 drop of Shield Brown. Use kitchen towel and wipe off almost all of the paint from your brush, then gently brush across the fur. This will pick out the raised areas and leave the recesses darker. Add 1 more drop of white to your mix and lightly dry brush over the higher areas again. Add another drop of white to the mix and again lightly dry brush over the accent areas of your miniature. Mix 1 drop of Palomino Gold and 1 drop of Auburn Shadow, and then use this mix to dry brush the straps. Add another drop of gold and dry brush again. Now Reaper suggests painting the handle of the broom in a non-metallic metal technique with blue, but I wanted to paint it brown. Dry brush the barrel and the broom with the brown mix, and add a drop of gold to lighten the mix and dry brush again. Again, Reaper suggested using the blue for the barrel hoops, but I wanted mine to be more of a gold metal colour, so I mixed Palomino Gold and tarnished copper and used that instead. You can use whatever you want. I added some Palomino Gold onto the edges of the barrel straps as highlights. Once his mouth is dry, paint his tongue with the Auburn Shadow that you've got. Mix 1 drop of Auburn Shadow, 1 drop of Palomino Gold and 1 drop of white to make his skin colour. Then paint all the skin areas with this mix, his ears, face, fingers and tail. I then use the Agrax Earthshade again as a wash all over his skin. To dry brush the skin, add a drop of white to your paint mix that you've already got, and then dry brush this all over the skin areas. Then paint your base of your miniature white to represent the snow that is stood on. Once this is dry, make your own wash using 1 drop of black, 1 drop of ultramarine blue and 8 drops of water, and apply this wash all over the base. Once this is all dry, use white to dry brush your base up to your desired effect that you want to represent snow. Next, paint his teeth with pure white. And his eyes with black. Now I know I've already done his eyes once, but I did go over them a bit with the skin colour and dry brushes and stuff, so this is just to put his eyes back in. Next are his horns. Reaper suggests painting them gold and brown, but I'm going to paint mine black because that's my favourite colour. I'm also going to touch up his hooves after painting the base, and if you need to touch up the hooves while you've got the black paint out, then you can do that now as well. I don't like the look of his teeth, so I'm adding Agrax Earthshade to tone down the white. I also added it to his eyes and an extra bit on the inside of his ears. I then dry brushed the horns with a little tiny bit of white added to my black paint. To finish your base, tidy the edges with black paint. I personally wanted shiny black horns, eyes and hooves, so I added Vallejo Gloss Varnish to those areas to make them shiny and the rest of the miniature matte. And here he is, all finished. I hope you like him and that this video has helped you to paint your miniatures. This is the first time we've tried it with step-by-step instructions as we go along, so I hope that it's helped. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can find all these hobby supplies at www.mightylancergames.co.uk. Thank you very much for watching.